Chronicle of Culture Traveler, and I'm so excited to take you to Egypt this afternoon. I'm joined by two of my wonderful colleagues, Kim from Abercrombie and Kent, and Menna, who's joining us live from Cairo. Hello, ladies. How are you?
Hi.
Hi, Kareem.
Hi, Kareem. How are you?
Super. So here we are in 2021. Happy New Year, everyone. And we're all so optimistic about this year and optimistic about traveling again. And last year, so many of our travelers wanted to go to Egypt and had trips planned, and they've been rescheduled. And the demand for Egypt continues just to be immense. And we thought, well, we want to give people something to look forward to. And so we have partnered with Abercrombie and Kent and created a trip in November that we're so excited to share with everyone today. And I thought that we would start just by hearing a bit from Menna in Cairo about the situation there. And then Kim is going to take us through the highlights of this wonderful trip. So Menna, please start us off and just give our listeners a sense of what things are like in Cairo right now. How's life?
Hello, hi. Can you? Hi, Kareem. How are you? Happy New Year for everyone. I wish this year would be great for all of us, and I wish that travel will be back. So far, in Egypt, of course, as like any place in the country, this was a totally different year for everyone. I mean, it's completely different. We had a quarantine for some time, but so far, as we speak now in Egypt, things are getting better so far. We don't have high numbers of COVID. So far, statistics per day that we have, it's around 1,000. We don't have as many as numbers as like I would say like other places according to our population. We are very good. We learned from the first wave. Okay, we had a hard lesson from the first wave, so that's why people are keeping the social distancing. 50% of most of the restaurants, hotels, and now the surprise that the government had applied a fine for the ones who are not wearing a mask in the street. So everybody so far is forced to wear a mask. And we're looking forward for the vaccine. We're waiting and we're having a great hope for this year that things will go back. For the travel business sites and the Ministry of Tourism, they're taking all the precautions and in all the hotels. Of course, Abercrombie and Kent team has made it through the course that most of their staff and their Egyptologists and the people are working for them. They had this course for the COVID-19, no greetings, keeping the distance, making sure of on board just to make things safe for everyone so they can enjoy the trip so far. So we're doing great so far.
Fantastic. That's so great to hear, Menna. That's exactly what we need is optimism for the future. And I'm so happy to know that you're safe and your family's safe. So.
And of course, talking about November, okay, pretty much, I hope it will be better for everyone. I mean, we're hoping actually things will be different, but so far we are on the right track so far.
Fantastic. So
and you know, Kareem, if I can add to Menna's commentary just a little bit and just
please do.
You know, let folks know that are listening and assure them that, you know, also Abercrombie and Kent globally has received the World Travel Council stamp of approval for our health and safety standards as we travel. And due to the efforts that Menna was just speaking about in Egypt with our team in Egypt and the training and the social distancing, we are very fortunate that we're actually operating in Egypt right now and have one of our small group journeys on the ground as we speak and have had clients traveling with us since the fall. So we're excited, you know, to have people in country with us and then looking forward to even more coming back later this year.
Fantastic. So Kim, I'd love for us to just get started with giving our listeners some detail of this journey and sharing some of the beautiful images you've put together of Egypt. I have not been back for a few years now, and I'm looking forward to returning myself. And I'm just going to turn the floor over to you, and please share with us some highlights of an incredible trip.
Thank you, Kareem. So yes, I'm really excited to do so. Egypt, for Abercrombie and Kent, Egypt has just always been one of our strongest destinations. And I have to say, I'm excited to share with you that, 2019 was our best year ever in Egypt, with carrying more travelers than we ever have. And in fact, Egypt was our #1 requested small group journey in 2019. So we were looking forward to an even bigger and better 2020 in Egypt, because there's just such enthusiasm for the destination. So with that said, we're very excited to get folks going again this year after our pause last year. But and we're really excited to work with you, because you have been there yourself. This destination. But for those clients who may be listening and have never traveled with Abercrombie and Kent before, I always think it's important to just give you a quick little look back and history. So if you don't know Abercrombie and Kent, we were founded in 1962 by Jeffrey Kent and his parents in Kenya. So Africa and the African continent, is kind of the heart and soul of our country, and Jeffrey wanted to get folks, out of the hotels and out into the bush, and really provide an authentic experience to get folks connected and immersed to the culture of the destination and the people of the destination that they're going to visit. So he is just as passionate. He is still at the helm of our company today, and is just as passionate about exploring the world and bringing those incredible experiences to life for people as they travel with us. So from our humble beginnings with just one Land Rover and his mother's silver service in Kenya, Abercrombie and Kent has grown to a global footprint of over 55 offices around the world. We are in more than 30 countries with our offices on 6 continents, but we take our guests to more than 100 countries around the world. And we are able to uphold the same impeccable standards across the board. So if you've ever traveled with us before, you will have the same type of experience or more so when you travel with our team in Egypt. And with that, I wanted to talk a little bit about, why travel to Egypt now and why travel with A&K. I mean, there are just very few places in the world that are as exciting from a historical point of view, from a cultural point of view, as Egypt is. I think we all have those visions, of Egypt and the stories and the thousands of years of history and the kings and the queens and the pharaohs that we've heard about in our social studies, classes and our history classes from years ago. So it's a destination that is really on folks' dream list. I prefer to say our dream list than bucket list. So from that perspective, it's incredible. But there's also such diversity in Egypt. There are so many things, not just history, but there's adventure, there's classical tourism, there's diving, there's water sports, there's diversity, there's all sorts of things available. So it really is a country that folks could visit and have a variety of experiences. That said, A&K truly has an unparalleled presence in Egypt. We've been operating in Egypt for 4 decades. So we have significant experience and logistical and operational expertise in the area. I talked about having those local offices around the world. I mean, this is just a snapshot of where our offices are in Egypt. So rest assured, whenever you're traveling with us, you are in the hands of A&K locals and our amazing team that is on the ground, that is just incredibly professional. And I think one of the most important things is they're so well respected within the tourism community in Egypt, and they are well connected as well. So our team knows how to make doors open. They know how to help you bypass the lines and the crowds. and really ensure that your experience is unique and is seamless. And that starts from the moment you arrive in the airport in Cairo and you see that the beautiful yellow and navy blue sign with the navy blue ampersand. And I always say, come off an international flight, there's nothing like seeing that A&K sign and being able to just have your sigh of relief and know that you are wrapped up in the arms of Abercrombie and Kent, and we're going to take care of you from that point forward. But what the secret sauce is, and I think we're giving your listeners a little hint to that with our picture on the left here, Kareem, of you and Menna, the secret sauce and what really brings A&K to life and a destination to life for our clients is our amazing guides. And we are so fortunate in Egypt to have the most incredible Egyptologists traveling with you from start to finish. These folks are so incredibly skilled, like Menna, at boiling down thousands of years of history and stories. And I was like, wait a minute, which pharaoh was that, and which queen, and which god, and which story, and which temple, and there's so many, which dynasty, and which, to boil it all down for us so that it's understandable and do it with such passion and ease is really, really incredible. So just to give you a quick few highlights of the journey that we have planned for you, I think that in Egypt, it is pacing is incredibly important because there's so much to see and do, and there's travel time. So, we have painstakingly put together what we believe to be any first-time traveler's ultimate Egypt trip, with just the right amount of time on land, the right amount of time on the Nile River, and included all of the must-see experiences for a first-timer going to Egypt. So your time with us starts out at the Marriott Menna House, and typically you're arriving into Cairo late in the evening. So you will, by private transfer, be taken to the Menna House, and this is what is waiting for you when you arrive there. It's the closest property to the pyramids, to Giza, and eventually to the new gem facility that we'll talk about in a moment. So you can comfortably relax. And then what I love is you wake up in the morning, and your first morning in Egypt, this is your view. This is what you see. And it's just so moving and stirring. And then, our team takes you from the Marriott Menna House. And when we travel I'm sorry, Menna, go ahead.
No, I'm saying it's a breathtaking, view. To wake up in the morning and seeing the Giza pyramid, it's unbelievable. It's amazing.
Yes,
go ahead, please.
For those of you that are listening, you may already have figured me out, and so this is shocking to most people. But I was speechless. That's shocking to most people. But what I love about that day one is that, we'll take our guests to the Egyptian Museum of Antiquities. And that's been what we have done. And this is the museum where, the King Tut collection has been housed. But of course, many of you may know that opening later this year will be the Grand Egyptian Museum. It's the largest archaeological museum in the world. There will be over 100,000 artifacts housed here, and that entire Tutankhamun collection will be moving to the Grand Egyptian Museum. I had the pleasure of doing a hard hat tour of the museum in 2019 when I was there, and just to see the painstaking restoration work that's happening in the labs there to bring all of this to the public and have it established is just really incredible. Then we'll also spend a day while we're in Cairo at the Giza Plateau. So we'll go out, and of course you'll have your time at the pyramids with the opportunity to climb up inside a pyramid as well, if you're inclined to do so, and don't have any claustrophobic issues. But you'll see the Sphinx. We'll get you on camel and the solar boat. So it's a really special experience. Kareem, did you climb up the pyramid?
I did, and I was just going to jump in to say that those first days just leave you with your jaw on the ground. I mean, it's awe-inspiring to see the pyramids and to then go inside. And I very much remember being inside that structure and listening to the sounds and climbing to the top. There really just is nothing like it. And I remember with our group after that first day, we were coming back to the hotel and we were just saying, what's next? How can this trip get any better? And it absolutely did, which is what bowled us over. So I'm so excited for you to go through these next slides about what follows that first wow, because everyone in the group was just saying it's day after day of wow, 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 and not being able to believe that we could still be impressed and so moved by the attractions that exist in Egypt.
That's an excellent way to put it, Kareem, because you just put into words my feeling as well when I was there. And I think what I love about starting the first day with the museums is that it sets the stage for what's coming and helps you get that baseline understanding of what you're about to experience over the next week. So as after we finish our time in Cairo, as you said, we'll fly to Luxor, and then we'll head right out to the East Bank. And Luxor really is essentially the largest open air museum, in the world, if you want to think about it that way. I mean, the bar has already been set very high in Cairo, and then we just take it to the next level here when you go see the Temple of Luxor and those three incredible statues of Ramses II. And then this is not maybe the best image, but this way your guests will be surprised when they feel it, but to walk down the Sphinx, and you have those incredible Sphinx on both sides of you, is just really an experience, like none other. After we finish our time at Temple of Luxor, we'll head over to board the beautiful Sanctuary Sunboat 4 in Luxor. Fabulous little, just 36 staterooms on this intimate little vessel. And I will tell you, I absolutely love this vessel. We'll have lunch there. What I love about it, if you notice the picture on the left, is there's a feeling of Egypt, the colors, the textiles, there's a warmth and hospitality of the team on board. I mean, we've all seen Menna's beautiful smile so at the beginning of this, and just everyone greets you with that warmth and hospitality on this particular vessel. We have a variety of accommodations available for the group, so depending upon what you're looking for and your comfort level, but they're all incredibly comfortable. And what I also really enjoy about this vessel is that there are plenty of outdoor spaces to sit and relax. I will never forget, one of my most memorable moments on this trip was on the Nile at sunset, sailing at sunset with the beautiful colors, being up on the deck at sunset and leaning against the railing. And as we're sailing, seeing those red and orange colors of the sun setting over the green, over the blue waters, and then listening to the call to prayer as we're wafting from the village that we're passing through. It was so emotional, really emotional. I felt like a queen on the Nile.
Kim, I'll jump in too to share that my time also was very special on the ship. When I was last in Egypt, it was for the holidays. So we got to bring in the New Year on the Nile, which was amazing. Being able to wake up on January 1st, I believe it was Luxor that we woke up in that day. But when I was on the ship, it was before the refurbishment. So I think I'd love for you to talk a bit about that, because I thought it was already beautiful. And because it was holiday, the ship was pretty full, but it did not feel crowded. So I just would imagine that now, after this refurbishment and also going in a time like November, that it's going to just be even more comfortable if that's possible.
And I just went back a slide, Kareem. Thank you, because yes, that happened just after, after you were had traveled with us, and that is, these images are from that refurbishment. So again, it's it was not a redesign of hardware, so to speak, of the vessel, but an updating of some of the public areas as well. And there's a gorgeous pool area and decking that I apologize, I don't have an image of the pool area, but we can certainly share that with your clients. But it really just took it to the next level. And the team is so excited to be on board. This vessel, it's truly one of the best vessels on the Nile by far, in terms of just feeling the and this is how I view it. It's feeling the destination while you're in the destination, so that you're a part of it, versus being on a vessel and seeing it through the window. So you feel it there. And whether that's our Egyptian night that we have when we're on board with the fabulous Egyptian music and dancing, and maybe a whirling dervish and a Gayabea party, and just really, it's a special, special time. And you might even catch a screening of Death on the Nile while you're on board. So then we, head off to the West Bank to see the Colossi of Memnon statues, just incredible, impressive. And then nothing like the Temple of Hatshepsut. And, I actually didn't want to include the photo of kind of coming in and seeing a glimpse of it for the first time off in the distance, because that is going to be such a wow moment. And then when you climb the steps and you get to visit this area of the first, this temple to the first female pharaoh, and arguably one of the most popular, as well, before we head off to, Valley of the Kings to visit, the tomb of Seti I and Tutankhamun. And in fact, the visit to the tomb of Seti I, we do privately for you. So you would be visiting that tomb without any other guests at the time.
Fantastic.
Then we'll to during our sailing from Luxor to Aswan, we'll also visit the Temple of Karnak. And yes, Menna.
Can you hear me well?
Oh yes,
Hello?
There you are. Menna, would you like to add something? Oh, I hope we haven't lost Menna.
I'm sure she'll come back.
Yep, we'll continue on. So I think a lot of folks have heard about Temple of Karnak.
I was afraid. No, I was telling. No. Can you?
In Karnak, you have these incredible columns. They're perfectly aligned. Some of them, the largest reaching up to 80 feet. It's 30 feet in circumference. It's just amazing, incredible hieroglyphics there. We'll head off to see the Temple of Horus and Edfu, the falcon-headed god of the sky. We'll see in Komombo, Sobek, the crocodile god. And then we'll end our time on the Nile in Aswan. We'll see the beautiful Philae Temple, the Aswan High Dam, which Menna will explain in incredible detail to you while you are there. And then you'll enjoy a late afternoon sailing on the Nile by Felucca. And this area of the Nile to me is just magical. The little islands that are dotting around the island, the Nile in Aswan, and it really did take me back to kind of being in that Agatha Christie, movie, Death on the Nile. It's just super special. And then the next morning, we take you by flight to Abu Simbel. And this is something that a lot of folks view as optional. And at Abercrombie and Kent, we definitely believe this is a must-see inclusion when you're in Egypt. And it is just the kind of cherry on top, if you will, to your time visiting the temples. And this is the temple of Ramses II and Queen Nefertari. And it is the story of this temple and also how it was moved, and the meaning behind it is just incredible to listen to when you're there. And we go in the morning, so you visit when it's less crowded. We were the first ones into the area, which was really spectacular. And then we end up back in Cairo later that day at the Four Seasons Hotel right on the Nile Plaza, very comfortable, beautiful rooms. And then the following, you can have rest in the afternoon, do a little shopping. And the next morning, we take you to Saqqara. You'll see the step pyramids. And then in the afternoon, you have a design your day. So everyone in the group, Kareem, will have a choice of what they may like to do for that last afternoon in Cairo. So they can visit Coptic Cairo or tour Islamic Cairo, a walking tour. They can ride a felucca. And then the last thing I wanted to share with your guests, Kareem, is that, we understand that folks, want to know that they have flexibility. They're anxious and excited to plan travel right now. But they also want to know that they have options if something changes between now and the time they plan to travel. So we have our Book with Confidence program that we would extend to your guests that allows them the ability to cancel or change their journey up to 15 days in advance due to a COVID-related reason, whether that's here at home or in Egypt. So folks know that they would receive a full future travel credit to use toward another Egypt trip or to another destination in the future through 2022, through December of 2022. So it gives them a lot of flexibility to be able to, think about making those plans and not stop dreaming and get out there and explore this amazing destination before maybe all of the crowds come back in 2022.
Thank you so much, Kim. That was great. And it brought back so many memories for me of the trip. I'm so looking forward to getting back to Egypt. And I think it's just wonderful that we've been able to take some time right now at the beginning of the year to look ahead. Again, we're all optimistic. We don't know what the future will hold, but we know that now is the time to plan, and this just gives us a lot of good energy, I think, going forward. And it's fantastic that Menna's back. Great, we've had some technical difficulties with Menna tuning in from Cairo, but you're back just in time, and we can have Menna perhaps tell us a bit about some of your favorite things in Egypt. And Kim has given us this wonderful overview, but I'd love it if maybe you could share one or two of the things that you most enjoy sharing with guests that come to Egypt.
Well, pretty much what Kim had covered, she had covered it with passion, as if she's an Egyptologist, an amazing Egyptologist, which made me really impressed, though I was losing you because of some technical problems, but I can tell she was amazing. So far, what I really like about Abercrombie and Kent is that they don't make their clients think. I mean, we just prepare everything and we do it with passion. Okay, it's quality and passion, and these are some of the very important features that we have actually in Abercrombie and Kent. So far, the whole program that we went through is covering the most important sites in Egypt. I mean, if we're going to talk about the history of Egypt, we're going to spend the whole, it's endless. I mean, but what we really provide you in this program, that we cover most of the important highlights, the most over Upper Egypt in Luxor and Aswan, and also Abu Simbel is optional. In ANK, we do believe it's a must-see. You cannot come to Egypt. It's like seeing the pyramids. Abu Simbel also is a must because it's a beautiful carved temple in the mountain, and the story of moving this temple to save it. There is a story behind every scene. I mean, there is a story behind every temple. There is a message on the wall, going to the Valley of the Kings, visiting the temple of Queen Hatshepsut. Can you hear me well, Karim?
Yes. Oh no, we lost Menna.
Oh.
The joys of technology, but everyone is so
Across
used to Zoom
the
by now
world.
that our listeners are used to it. So we got a few questions, Kim, as we were going through the presentation. I think most of which were answered. A question about the Grand Egyptian Museum, just an update on that. And right now, correct me if I'm wrong, but fingers crossed, it should be open and ready to go when our group comes in November.
Yes,
So,
yeah, that is the projection is that we should be good to go for November. Given the current environment, Karim, no one can guarantee anything there, but we're very optimistic about that. And it's just entering the entrance hall, the grand hall, during my hard hat tour with the statue of Ramses there was impressive enough, and you could really feel the scale of this, and what else is the other thing that, is being worked on is there will be ultimately, trams from the pyramids complex to the Grand Egyptian Museum. So there's a lot of work going on around this area, and just it's going to be incredibly impressive.
Fantastic.
And you're going to see things there that have the public has never had access to before.
Great. Yeah, and I remember that too, Kim. When I was there a few years ago, obviously the Grand Egyptian Museum was just starting construction. And even the previous museum was so impressive because there was just so much there. Everywhere you turn, there is an amazing artifact that's thousands of years old. And I'm so looking forward to this new space, this huge space where everything is going to get its prime time spot, so to speak.
Yes.
You're really going to get to appreciate everything so much better, I think.
And it will only keep growing, right, Karim? I mean, this is the amazing thing about Egypt is it was just last month. There was an additional discovery, of mummies. So it's unbelievable what is still there to be unearthed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then another question we got, Kim, we may have to go back to it one-on-one later, but I was curious if you knew. Someone was asking about the pyramids and how many are open to the public. And I know, with our tour and with ANK, there are specific pyramids that we have access to and that we can go and see. And my understanding is that when you visit that site, that's how it's operated. There's several pyramids over a huge space, but you can't freely roam, which is why, ANK has arranged everything in advance for us to have access. But curious if you know the answer to that question about maybe how many pyramids there are total at Giza and how many are open to the public.
Well, now that Menna is back with us, welcome back, Menna. I'm wondering if Menna might be able to answer that a little bit better, because I can tell you that there have also been some changes around how access to the pyramids area is being managed. So Menna,
I'm back.
Yes.
Before anything.
Menna, would you know just, how many pyramids are available to us and talk a little bit about how the access to the pyramids area is operating now?
Well, the access to the pyramids area now is operating very well. Okay. People are entering the area wearing masks. The precautions they're taking very well care of the social distance and all of that. Going inside the pyramid, it was always a limited number of people. We have two pyramids, the great one of Khufu and the second one of Kefren, the one that it's available now. Sometimes they open Menkarina, sometimes they open Kefren, but so far this year, they opened Kefren and Cheops. November, I believe it will stay the same. But if we have the option to go inside the Great Pyramid of Khufu, there will be a limited number. I mean, they don't allow a huge number of people because there is no safety. So that's why they are having even more safety precautions inside. They don't allow it's not like if they were allowing 20 people, now they allow like 5 and then they wait. It takes a longer time. The process takes a longer time, but it's for safety as well.
Perfect. Thank you, Menna. And then another question that came in, and I know the answer to this is a resounding yes, and maybe both of you can speak to this, but it's add-ons. So you travel all the way to Egypt, you have this incredible experience, but maybe you want to go to Jordan, maybe you want to go to Alexandria. Is that possible? Can we do that for people, Kim?
Great question, Kareem. And yes, and yes, we don't like to say no at Abercrombie and Kent if we can help it. So if there's some additional travels that folks would like to add on, then absolutely. In fact, we have a 5-day Jordan pre-tour extension that is already planned and turnkey, so we could very easily add Jordan on, but we can also completely customize, an optional add-on at the end for clients as well if they'd like to do that. So, we are experts at customization and making things very personal for the clients. So we can take them as far as they like. Jordan, Israel, we can add on whatever they like.
Great. And I remember from my trip, I personally came in a few days early to spend some more time in Cairo. Someone else in the group, a single traveler, went to a Bedouin camp in Jordan for a few days that AMK had set up. Then we had half the group stay and tour Jordan for 5 days after and see Petra. So it was just amazing, the flexibility and how some people have limited time and can just do that core trip of the must-sees, but others want to add on more. And we can make it all happen. So that's
yes, and you definitely want time for shopping in Cairo as well. So my beautiful bracelet here and the bazaar. So I always think it's nice to come in an additional day if you can, or stay an additional day.
And Menna, I'm wondering if you could speak a bit to what the weather is going to be like in November. So again, you're there in Cairo. And a question folks always have is seasonality. So November in Egypt, what's it like?
It's the best time actually to come to Egypt. Okay, you're talking about, it's sunny, it's warm. You're talking about almost like, if we're talking Celsius, we're talking about 29 Celsius, 70 Fahrenheit, which is a pretty nice weather. We're talking, it might get a little bit chilly by night, but the lowest temperature you will get is around, I would say, 12 Celsius, 13 Celsius, maybe. So it's such a great weather, and people really enjoy it. In Cairo, it will be cooler than Luxor and Aswan a little bit, but still in the morning, you can only have your t-shirt or shirt. You can probably, coming in November while packing, if our traveler concerned, they can only have like one light jacket and it will be more than enough for that.
That sounds so wonderful. Here in January in Michigan.
Yes. And it's a little different from my time in June when I was
Sounds what?
in Egypt. So November would be a delight. And I was just thinking when Menna was talking about Cairo, and one of the things that surprised me about Cairo, I was anticipating all of the history and of Egypt, but what a late night community and environment there is in Cairo as well. That it's so
Not
social.
anymore. Not anymore.
That's true. I'll bet that's changed. Yeah. But seeing families strolling
Not
along
anymore. No. It's limited.
Well, maybe by November. Fingers crossed.
No.
No. Okay.
Super. So I
Yeah,
think that
finger crossed. Shops are closed at 9 now. Which is pretty new for the Egyptians because it never happened before. And
9 o'clock shop closures sound late for late for me, so that's great. I think
Me
we
too.
all have to adjust our North American mindset here because limited hours for Egypt are going to be like normal hours for us.
You got it. That's right.
This is too limited, by the way. We are upset for that. Things were open till 1 a.m. in the morning and everything, and some places were open even till late 3 a.m. in the morning. It's like we're party people here in its own flavor. This is, coming to Egypt, I would like to add this. It has its own flavor. It's totally different when it comes to the culture. Every place has its own story. And being with Abercrombie and Kent, you make the travelers doing it with passion and quality. And this is something which is very important that Abercrombie and Kent provide. We go deep in the culture. We are very flexible to introduce the culture in Egypt, which is very important because it's not like any other place. So I believe this is a very important place, and it's a great experience that it has its own flavors that
and I think for me, it was amazing to have the guides just bring to life not only the history, but to Menna's point, I walked away feeling as though I had a master class in Egyptian history, in Egyptian politics, in religion, in culture, in social, settings. So it was really incredible how our guides can bring all of that together for you.
Fantastic. Well, ladies, thank you so much for taking the time to spend with me and our listeners this afternoon. It's been wonderful seeing you again, Menna, and always lovely to see you, Kim. And we're going to stay optimistic and positive, and those that are passionate to visit Egypt now have this great information and they know how to get in touch with us, and we're always open for questions. And if you would like to see the full itinerary, it's here and ready for you. So I just want to wish everyone again a happy new year, stay safe, and we're looking forward to what the future holds for travel for all of us.
Thank you.
Happy New Year, everyone. Looking forward seeing you in Egypt. Happy New Year, everyone.
Yes, thank you, Kareem. We appreciate it. Have a great day, everyone.